Welcome to Fairy Tale Access, where the head fairy's quest is to prove that fairy tales do exist in actual time, rather than once upon a time. Together, we will unravel the heroes, young and old, who turn dreams into reality. These are the people who still believe in happily ever after. The discoveries will bend even our most cynical non-believers into believing in fairy tales. Welcome to Fairy Tale Access, the place where we unravel stories in actual time rather than once upon a time. Today, we're going to talk to Mr. Ed Licious, a member of the Nashville, New Hampshire Lions Club, and we're going to find out what they're all about. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having me, Denise. It's a pleasure to be here with you and share a little light on Lions International as well as locally what's going on. You know, Lions International is the world's largest service organization, formed in 1917 by a group of businessmen in Chicago led by a gentleman by the name of Melvin Jones. And the interesting thing is, even though he was the founder, he was never president of our association.
Oh, really?
He chose to be more of the secretary's role and did that up until his death. And we got our purpose and cause at a convention in Ohio in 1925 when a sightless, deaf young lady by the name of Helen Keller appeared before us. And she challenged us at that time to be her Knights of the Blind. And thus the Lions had their cause. Several years later, we became international with a convention in Canada, and now we're in over 207 geographic areas of the world with 1.35 million members.
That is amazing. So what does the Lions Club International do?
We do everything. Sight and hearing are our primary initiatives. We have just successfully concluded a matching grant program with the Gates Foundation to eradicate measles in Africa and other areas of the world where that's a problem. For every $2 that the Lions raise, the Gates Foundation matched that up to $5 million. So that's going on. Lions, besides sight and hearing, they're normally the first on the ground after a natural disaster. In fact, we still have lions on the ground in Sri Lanka from the tsunami a few years ago, in Japan after the earthquake, in the United States, out in Missouri. They're still there from the devastating tornadoes of a year ago. We're still in Haiti. And there are still lions actively involved in New York at the site of the former World Trade Center. They were there providing a respite to not only the family members during the recovery, but to the police and firefighters who were there. So we do a lot in disaster services. We do a lot with children and adults. And like our motto says, we serve.
That's great. And you brought In a World of Service,
yes,
a video for us to look at.
Each year, our president, international president, has a theme. And this year, our international president is Wayne Madden from Indiana. And his theme is In a World of Service, and here it is.
In the world today, there are hungry children, people living on the street, elderly who are losing their sight, and people who cannot read or write. Lions members are changing this. In a world of service.
In a world of service, Lions make sure that kids can see.
In a world of service, Lions improve the health of communities.
In a world of service, Lions help physically challenged people.
In a world of service, Lions Clubs International is the name that stands out among all others. We are the global leaders in humanitarian service because we have more than 1.35 million members in countries all around the world working to address local community needs.
Lions are compassionate people and they want to do things for others.
To be a lion means to serve people. Through this guide dog school built by Lions, we are able to train and provide guide dogs to the blind. It makes me feel good to do this service.
Our mission is to help dialysis patients who are not able to have this service from private centers to live a normal life as much as possible.
4, 5.
We work with 3 to 5-year-old children to prepare them for kindergarten, give them some basic skills like how to hold a pencil, taking turns, listening to directions. I don't know who has more fun, them or me.
We serve at least 150 people at night over at the shelter. So there's 3 food drives a week. And I can't think of anything else better than to do but that.
Lions will continue 4 global service action campaigns that address youth, sight, hunger, environment, and will take on a new service challenge, the Reading Action Program.
As a former educator and married to a career teacher, we place a high value on education. Everyone deserves an education, and reading is critical to learning. Reading opens a world of opportunities.
There are a lot of children out there that do not own a book, and to be given one would be very special.
In a world of service, Lions are increasing literacy.
Here is elephant.
In Morocco, Lions literacy projects target children and women.
It's a great joy that these women are learning to read and write because they couldn't do this before.
Lions in Arizona provide free eye screenings and books to families.
If we can provide better vision, we can encourage the parents to read more at home. And the more parents read at home, the more children read at home, the better students they are.
In Cambodia, Japanese and Cambodian Lions teamed up to give books to school children.
If the educational system becomes better and the children have a good education, I believe their economy will improve.
Donating books and educational materials is important, but these children also need emotional support and encouragement.
When people work together and sweat together and have a common goal, they tend to stay together.
That end needs to come around that way.
Lions Clubs International is made up of many teams, all working together to enhance our ability to serve others. Lions are asked to use this winning formula. Dedication plus preparation plus teamwork equals excellence.
I've been a racing fan for more than 40 years. And some of the most impressive aspects of racing are the preparation and the efficient teamwork that takes place during the race.
It's the team behind the race car that helps Indianapolis 500 cars run at top performance. From the driver to the pit crew, everyone plays an important role.
We're asking Lions teams to think like an Indy racing team, to fine-tune their club and their service activities so we go forward with greater success.
Lions from Indiana and Honduras are dedicated to improving vision through their annual comprehensive eye care mission in Honduras.
Our main mission as Lions is providing eye care, and as an eye doctor, that's perfect for me.
Lions members that come here sometimes spend the entire year preparing for one mission.
We're all team players. We're dedicated to helping others.
In a few days, more than 2,000 people receive the gift of sight with new glasses.
Fitting glasses on a person's face is the most rewarding job here. What we do here is life-changing.
More than 150 people receive sight-saving cataract or cornea transplant surgeries.
You feel good after they have the surgery and regain their vision.
All right. Take care.
Planning and preparation have helped a Lions Club in Illinois successfully grow its annual fundraiser.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Turkey Trot, 14th year running. Let's hear it for the Lions Club.
The first year, we started off with 350 registered runners. This year, we have about 7,700.
Putting on something this large
requires a tremendous amount of time from a lot of people.
And we plan for it all year.
Hard work pays off. This event raises about $140,000 US for projects that include vision and hearing screenings and much more.
It gives you a feeling of satisfaction that you've done something and have done it very well and have been able to contribute back to the community.
In Japan, Lions team up 4 times a year to clean up Nagoya's Horikawa River.
I recruited 33 Lions clubs to join in this project.
Lions invite the community to get involved. More than 2,000 citizens have helped.
It's important to do things together, to work with all the Lions Club's members and the community.
It's fun to work together.
It's important to get involved in environmental projects so we can leave a nice world for the next generation.
Lions serve the world through Lions Clubs International Foundation, LCIF. The Sight First program shows the power of working together for a common goal, preserving and restoring vision. Every time a disaster strikes, Lions pull together to help. And the Measles Initiative partnership with the Gates Foundation opens new opportunities to serve.
Through LCIF, we are fighting measles in Africa and all over the world.
Lions Quest is growing worldwide. District 323 India expanded Lions Quest from 275 schools to 500 in just 2 years by putting a development plan and team into place.
The governor gave me 7 more people to work with me. The teamwork really helped us.
Lions are doing a world of good, but there's so much more to do. Just as Indy racers use pit stops to tune up so they can continue to perform at their best, Lions can tune up their meetings and activities.
Well, I'm encouraging all clubs and districts to make pit stops 4 times throughout this year to stop and reassess your club's needs and your members' needs as well as your community needs.
Taking time to evaluate what's working and where we can improve will lead us to excellence.
All clubs should aim at earning a Club Excellence Award. It's very simply a roadmap for success.
The Club Excellence Program helps you see what your strong points and your weak points are. Just mark down 3 things that your community needs.
We've got to help the youth.
There are a lot of services that can be provided to our seniors.
There's a big need for recreation.
We need younger members for our club.
New members bring innovation and energy.
The best way to get new members is ask.
Let's encourage more women, families, and young people to become Lions.
I am so excited.
Whenever the Leos are ready to join the Lions, we are the first ones to ask them. And this means we always have young members.
In a world of service, I see hundreds, if not thousands, of campus clubs worldwide. We need young adults because they are our future.
Let's use social media to attract attention and new members.
We like to put whatever event that we've done right on Facebook. Gets more interest in the Lions Club. You know, we hope that they're going to see what we do and join.
Hurry up.
When you have a good leader, you get many followers.
Let's continue to identify and develop leaders at all levels.
Leadership is exceedingly important for our future. We need for people to step up and use the opportunities that Lions provide.
I'm one of the leadership team members, and there is a great potential for women to rise in the Lions clubs.
Strong leaders will help guide our teams through this changing world.
It's important that we honor our heritage, but Lions clubs should not be afraid to change their traditions. The world is changing around us, and Lions must change also.
In our 95th year, let's meet new challenges with enthusiasm and teamwork. With dedication and drive, Lions continue to change lives and strengthen our position as the leader in a world of service.
Welcome back to Fairy Tale Access. That was an amazing video. So what does the Nashua Lions Club do on the local level?
Very similar to what happens internationally, but on a more local scale. The Nashua Lions will be 90 years old next year.
Oh, really?
We're the second oldest club in New Hampshire. Manchester was chartered in June of 1923. We were chartered in the fall of 1923. So we've been around for a little bit. And over that years, we've had many prominent city officials, city residents, who have been members of our club. We've also had a number of key programs. Perhaps the most signature item that we have done is in the mid-1950s, we built the Friendship Club for the Handicapped, which is located down by Riviera University. Mm-hmm. And it was a clubhouse, a meeting place for those with disabilities, who back in the 1950s, of course, had nowhere to go and were looked upon differently than we look at them today. And that is still a viable building and program that the Lions, by charter, the president of the club is a member of the board of directors, and it's still an ongoing program. And then in the late 80s, early 90s, we had a young family come to us. They had a child who was severely handicapped. They'd gotten a waiver from the federal government to have her at home, but they needed help in terms of, she had become dead weight, carrying her up and down the stairs, and Mom fell with her one day. And so they were looking to put a first floor addition on their house. And they came to the Lions, not looking for a handout, but looking for help. Mm-hmm. And at the time, a member of our club, the late Rich Nato, had a contracting company in Nashua. And he looked at it. We looked at it. We said, we can do this. Fortunately, the family had a connection to someone at Channel 4 in Boston, and he did a story about Melanie's room. Her name was Melanie. We called it Melanie's Room. And a few days after it aired, and it was right around the holidays, I got a call from our secretary who had just gone to the post office box. He said, you're not going to believe this. He says, I've got $7,000 in checks from all over New England. And Chick Bolio, local contractor here, Chick donated the roofing materials and the windows. Mm-hmm. Other people donated labor, and basically with $24,000 in cash, we put about a $42,000 addition on their home, first floor, for her. She lived through it, died a few years later, but even though she was blind and deaf, there were times we'd be sitting at the house meeting with her parents, we'd see a smile. And that's what it's all about, giving back to the community. Now the club does the basic eye screenings, and that's how we do, we met you at the Fairy Tale Festival. Mm-hmm. We do what's called the Kids Sight Eye Screening Program. And what it is, it's a program for children 6 months to about 5 years of age, and it allows 4 images of their eyes to be photographed. And then one of our members, who is an eye doctor, Dr. Carl Engelhardt at Nashua Eye, he'll look at those and can interpret them and can determine at that very young age whether or not the child has a problem. So they're not waiting until they get into first grade. Mm-hmm. They're actually getting discovered early, and then we get back to the parents and tell them they ought to go see their pediatrician and go from there. So, you know, that's great stuff. We provide eyeglasses for seniors. Mm-hmm. And in more recent years, we've had a lot more requests for hearing aids as the population ages. So and then we do whatever we need to do. We've started a couple of unique programs. One is we do a Teacher of the Year. And we've done that now for about 10 years. And it resulted in the first woman president of our club. It was a retired school teacher. And we were looking for a unique project. There are other clubs in the city that do the police officer, mm-hmm. firefighter of the year. We said, why not a teacher? Because we have a lot of teachers and former teachers in the club. So that's gone on, and we ask people to send in nominations. We have an independent screening panel outside of the club, mm-hmm. From the local colleges and post-secondary places. And we give them the apps. They give us back one. And it's been a great program.
That sounds fantastic. And you also brought in another video for me to look at that has examples of other Lion programs. Is
yes,
that correct?
Lions Quarterly is kind of a composite of what's happening with Lions Clubs International around the world. Mm-hmm. And we have a wonderful young woman who works for us in Oak Brook, where headquarters are. And she speaks several different languages. And she puts together, along with the staff and the marketing public relations office, this report. And it's a video news magazine. And here it is.
From Lions Clubs International. This is LQ, Lions Quarterly. We begin with Lions making a global impact. 800 million people in the world cannot read.
Lions can make a huge impact by fighting illiteracy in every community.
The penguins are going on vacation.
Around the world, Lions are organizing service projects that promote literacy in their local communities as a part of the Global Reading Action Program.
I-17. We play bingo, and the prize is to win a book. It's a good project because it promotes reading.
We donated computers because computers are necessary nowadays. I'm happy to see them using it for studying and getting more knowledge.
I know these children will have a bright future because of this library.
A new partnership with USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, will focus on reaching primary school children in developing countries.
We're very focused on working with children in their first few years of school because research has shown that if children fall behind in the first 1, 2, or 3 years of school, they may permanently be behind for the entire rest of their life.
Lions are being asked to provide books and reading material, read with or tutor individual students, improve quality of teachers by recognizing excellent teachers, and promote reading among students with special needs, especially those with visual impairment. Lions recently participated in the International Literacy Day celebration in Washington, D.C., hosted by USAID.
Millions of children around the world will benefit from Lions clubs and USAID working together.
The Sight for Kids program is celebrating 10 years of helping children in Asia see better. LCIF and Johnson & Johnson launched Sight for Kids in 2002 because nearly half of the children in Asia who needed glasses could not afford them. Since then, 110,000 Lion volunteers and teachers have participated in Sight for Kids, bringing eye care to children in need in Asia.
You see the happy face, the happy reaction on them, and that is a very good fulfillment for us.
In the last decade, more than 16 million children have been screened. Nearly 600,000 were referred for further treatment, and 161,000 received glasses.
Thank you, Lions.
According to the United Nations Commission on Human Rights, approximately 100 million people are homeless worldwide. Lion Gwendolyn Strain was once one of the homeless. She struggled with a drug addiction and spent 7 years homeless, living on the cold San Francisco streets.
I used to push a shopping cart. I had a box for my bed, and I would sleep on the streets.
With a helping hand, Gwen turned her life around. She joined a Lions Club and made a commitment to helping the homeless. She started by feeding the hungry.
I wanted to get back to people that I knew that was like me. It was cold, so I decided to make a small pot of soup, and the soup went fast. So I made more soup.
Gwen served the community from the back of her beat-up truck. Soon, California Lions took notice and reached out to help.
She told me where they met, and we went out there. She pulls up and starts serving soup dinners to the homeless right on the street. It was getting cold, and he says, we need to get these people some gloves. And one of the other volunteers says, no, they need clean, dry socks.
In that moment, the Warm Hands and Feet Project was born. Now, every Wednesday, other Lions members join with Gwen in preparing food and distributing clothes and meals to those in need.
I went home and I made a Facebook page, and within hours I was getting donations, people posting saying, where can we bring the socks, where can we bring the gloves? That next Wednesday, we handed out gloves and socks to every person that was there, about 150 people.
I take food that's donated from Safeway and Trader Joe's, and I take whatever comes in, and I just make soup out of it.
Through the Warm Hands and Feet Project, these Lions make a difference in their community.
I think it's very important because right now I'm hungry.
They said there was going to be clothes and food, and I need a new shirt.
While her homeless days are behind her, Gwen still remembers the painful reality of life on the streets. She's inspired Lions all around San Francisco to share in her commitment to serving the needs of the homeless and the hungry.
You get the instant gratification. You can tell that they're hungry. You can tell that they need this. And you have a really good feeling when you're done.
80 kilometers outside of Mendoza, Argentina, lies a school for a special group of children.
Asisten alumnos sordos, ciegos.
We teach blind, deaf, and disabled students.
The school started in 1994 with 4 students in 1 classroom. Now they teach 75 students who still receive personalized attention, thanks to donations from LCIF and a local Lions Club.
Lions are very important to our school. They supported us from the time we started. Lions Club's International Foundation provided a grant to help us expand our building. Lions also supplied money for teachers, technology, and materials.
It is a school that parents say is desperately needed.
Eso fue muy gratificante para nosotros.
It's very gratifying for us as parents. We used to have to drive very far to Mendoza for support. But since the Lions built this school, our lives have changed.
Se crea la escuela de sensoriales.
It's the first school in the community that helps both blind and deaf children.
Because the students face different challenges, educators must teach in ways that play to each student's strengths and abilities.
Recognizing what type of student you have and how best to teach them is a challenge, but I love exploring which tools and strategies will help my students learn, as individuals and as a group.
With support from highly trained teachers, Lions, and the community, the children become more independent.
I've not only learned to read and write, but I've learned to dream. This school has helped me become a better, more confident person.
The best thing the school has taught my daughter is self-esteem. We are so grateful to the Lions for all their support.
Our big fundraiser is the turkey trot.
Happy Thanksgiving! The Naperville Noon Lions have a really great idea about mixing fun and fitness and health and fundraising for the community.
We're in our 14th year.
The first year we started off with 350 registered runners. This year we have about 7,700.
It's kind of become a Thanksgiving tradition. Got the whole family here.
We're sisters. Every year we have to do something, and she's always chasing me.
Hey!
3, 2, 1.
Whether they're competitive runners or they have moms or grandmas that are walking, everybody just gets out and does it.
It's awesome. I can go eat whatever I want and don't feel guilty about it.
It's a great way to support the Lions. They do wonderful things.
We're projected to raise about $150,000.
All the money stays in the community.
Have you ever had your eyes checked before?
Our basic cause is the vision screening, hearing testing with 2 school districts.
I see a heart.
We see hundreds of children through Lions Club referrals, kids that would not have been able to afford glasses or eye care any other way. So the fact that the Lions are able to raise so much money to help provide for these families is just a fantastic thing.
You can do it, Mama said.
I learned about the Lions when my kids failed the vision test. A lot of people can't afford glasses, so the Lions Club helps out a lot.
So I'm going to cover up this eye.
The Lions have been invaluable. If we refer a child within a week, that child is seen by an eye doctor, they get glasses right away. Maybe we could reach most of these children, but it might be a whole year of working on that to get the services for them. I don't know what we would do without the Lions.
So you usually zoom it up to what, about
2.5.
We also support different agencies and charities.
Amount in column A.
We have individual training, which is personalized one-on-one training with a computer and assistive technology for persons with disabilities.
A lot of our students are people who could see until
2 or 3 years ago, and now they can't.
It's screen reading technology, so it looks at everything on the screen and basically recites it back to you.
Why don't we start off by opening up Zoom text first?
Well, the folks here at Donka basically allowed me to get out of my post-stroke doldrums. It's giving me the tools I need to get back into the workplace. I'm very grateful to the Lions organization.
Confidence is the biggest thing we build, honest and truly.
It helps you feel a lot better about yourself when you can do more things yourself. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Lions Club.
We are part of a fantastic club. Work hard together, play hard together, and we really enjoy each other's company.
It gives you a feeling of satisfaction that you've done something and have done it very well and have been able to contribute back to the community.
There's magic in the air as these Lions and expert toy makers are putting the finishing touches on their latest creations.
We make various toys, mainly toys for under 5-year-olds.
I do a bit of painting.
We've been sewing the bedding.
Through their toy workshop, Lions in Christchurch, New Zealand have been bringing joy to children for almost 30 years.
Thanks, Lions!
When the project began, Lions focused on repairing toys.
And there's pieces missing or something like that, and they bring them along here and we fix them up and hand them on.
Now, Lion toy makers volunteer twice a week to build almost 1,200 new toys each year. All are handcrafted and originally designed by Lions. There are about 20 different models, but of course, there's always one that becomes a favorite.
The trucks. We make a truck which is about 18 inches long.
The girls seem to enjoy the cots with the doll and the bedding.
It's a collaborative project between many local clubs.
A lot of Lions clubs supply finance for the workshop, and those clubs have the right to distribute toys on our behalf.
Toys are never sold. Instead, they're given to boys and girls in need through community organizations and schools during the holidays and for birthdays.
It is a fun project to be involved with.
Because of the toy workshop, kids, Lions, and community members all have something to smile about.
The opportunity for our children to play is really important, so getting some toys for free is wonderful.
If you would like to suggest your Lions project for LQ, send your story to lq@lionsclubs.org. LQ is available on the Lions Club's international website, YouTube, iTunes, and DVD. Lions make a difference every day, everywhere. Thanks for watching LQ Lions Quarterly.
Welcome back to Fairy Tale Access. And I have with me Mr. Ed Licious from the Nashville Lions Club. And we're going to continue our discussion about the Lions and how we can become a member.
Well, it's by invitation, but certainly, and our website will be up at the end of this, or they can contact me at 429-0561.
Area code 603.
Area code 603, yes, I forgot we have a wide range audience here. And we meet the first and third Mondays of each month at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And certainly I would be happy if anyone's interested to invite them as my guests, see what we're all about, come to a meeting, and we'll talk to you a little bit. But essentially, we're looking for your time and what you can contribute, not financially, although occasionally we'll ask you for some money, but more what you can bring to the table for us. As I said, we're 90 years old next year. We have 2 members, 60 years plus, who are still active, Al Savage and Spiro Lanatsis. And then our youngest member has been in the club for 2 years. And the Lions have a family program where the first person pays the full amount of dues, second, a reduced rate, and on down the line. And a lot of us have brought our kids into the club. And so,
are they like mix. Lions Club, like the Cubs?
No, they're Lions.
They're
although
Lions.
There is a new program, and I have 2 new grandchildren. So at some point I'm going to talk to my daughters and son-in-laws about getting them in as Cubs. But it's great. It's very family-oriented. I mean, we do a lot of things, and we try to include the family. We do social things. We'll go to the Silver Knights baseball. We'll go to the Fisher Cats as a group just to go out kind of thing. And then, you know, our fundraisers. We've got a big one coming up in December. Warren Miller, who does extreme skiing videos. We have the exclusive rights for his, and on December 13th, we're going to be showing that at Nashua High School North, and that will be our major fundraiser. And going back to the late Rich Nato, most places do pancake breakfasts. Rich was of French-Canadian descent, so we decided instead of pancakes, we're going to do French toast. And it was just a little hook, and it became, before we knew it, the world-famous French toast breakfast.
Oh, when do you do that?
The next one will be in December, with Breakfast with Santa. We do it a couple of times a year. And then we do other raffles and, you know, whatever. I remember...
And are those open to the community to come to?
Yes, they are. They are.
So they can find out about the Breakfast with Santa Claus and the French toast on your website?
On the website. It'll be posted once we set the date, yes.
Yep.
So,
we'll have that on the bottom of the screen.
It'll be great. And, you know, I became a Lion because of one of the other programs we do, and that is for 65 years, we have had the Nashua High boys basketball team in win or lose. Of course, it's changed a little. Now there are 2 public high schools, so we've done both. And I went as the manager of the basketball team. And it was pretty neat seeing, you know, being with these guys, and they bring in a college coach to be the speaker. And so when I got out of school, the late Peter Sconsis, who was my sponsor, I said, Peter, how do I become a Lion? He said, be at Howard Johnson's Monday night.
I remember
and
Howard
thus
Johnson.
it began, you know.
Wow.
And so we continue that today, and we had the foresight to, before he passed away, one of our remaining charter members, Wally Lawrence, he's the one that started the dinner. We named an award after him that's presented to a player. It's an Unsung Hero Award. And then with the advent of North, we named a similar award after a former member and the former coach at Nashua High, Tony Mirandis. So we give the Tony Mirandis Unsung Hero and the Wally Lawrence. And we still bring a college coach in. We've kind of changed it rather than dinner route because of the schedules for the kids coming right out of basketball into baseball. You only got a short window. And we've gone to a more of a dessert-y type thing program, but kids, their parents, and a coach.
That's great.
And that's how I found out about Lions.
Wow. So what types of, if you're a volunteer or you were coming into the Lions Clubs, what are some of the things that you look for from your volunteers?
We look for someone that's willing to give us another pair of hands to serve in the community. And our pitch to people is, you know, while we'd like to see you twice a month at our meetings, if you can make one, that's great. And if you can work on 1 or 2 of our major projects, that's great. We understand the competition today for people's time, especially younger families, and we understand the balance that they need to have. But if you can contribute something, whatever it is, we'll take it because that'll just make us a little bit better, and it'll give us an opportunity to continue serving here in the community for whatever the particular need or cause may be.
And do you still have collections where you recycle hearing aids and glasses and things like that?
We have several collection boxes. Perhaps the most notable, there's one at the public library. There is one at City Hall. And several of the eye doctors in Nashua will also collect them for us now. We have a number of the doctors at Nashua Eye that belong to the club, but those non-Lion members that have practices here, they'll call us and say, come and get them. And what we do is we take them and we, in New Hampshire, give them to the Hampton Area Lions Club. They pack them and they get them down to a place in New Jersey where the lenses are read to determine the strength and the type. And then they are given to Lions who go on missions to other countries or just through international, providing eyeglasses to third world areas. where people need eyeglasses, so they get use out of them. Similar with hearing aids, Dr. Berry over in the Exeter area takes them and rebuilds them and refurbishes them, and we're able to use those.
So even the older technology on the hearing aids, they're able to reuse?
Some of them they are. Some of them that they're not, then they just dispose of them. But he's a pretty crafty guy, and you know, we make do with what we can and try to recycle and reuse.
And what if there's a young person in the area that needed assistance with getting either hearing aids or glasses?
One of the things we do, we have a unique program and have had for as long as I've been in the club and even before. We work with the school nurses here in Nashua. So they have a pretty good idea of the youngsters, their family situation, and if they find a child that needs hearing aid or glasses, they'll just contact our person that deals with that and then we'll just set them up and take care of it. And you know, there's forums for people, older people and people outside of the schools, but for the school kids, if the nurse says they need it, then we take care of it. And traditionally, we spend anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 a year on eyeglasses and hearing aids.
And what type of fundraisers do you do to allow your club to be able to do these kind of things?
Well, the breakfasts, the French toast breakfasts. Last year, we tried something new. We did a gas card raffle that was drawn in our first meeting of the new year. We do this Warren Miller ski film will be one. And then we're always looking for other opportunities. You obviously have to have money to do projects, but our emphasis is trying to find projects for the club to do. Not necessarily the big ones like Melanie's Room or the Friendship Club, but ones where, you know, it might be a cleanup of an area, so that way our younger members can come with their children, make a day of it, and we accomplish something.
That is a great feeling.
It is, and I mean, you know, the Nashua Club has been very fortunate over the years to get great support from the community. And like I say, we've got 2 60-year members that are still active.
Wow. And how many members do you have?
Total 48.
48 in Nashua? In
Nashua. And New Hampshire is broken up just like the congressional districts almost. We have 2 districts. We're multiple district 44. And then there's 44N, which starts in Amherst, kind of goes up the line by the river, all the way up into Berlin, and that's 44N, everything west of that. And starting in Nashua, going up the river, and everything to the east, all the way up to the Mount Washington Valley area is 44H. Total, we have it's about 92 clubs, and
just in New Hampshire?
Yeah, just under about 2,300 Lions.
Wow, that's great.
And each club is unique to their communities. Again, Manchester's in 44N. We're in 44H. So we're the oldest in H, but second oldest, so we try harder in New Hampshire. And we come together. Our state convention is held every year in January. And it's usually held in the Nashua area, just because of convenience. And this year, the 25th through the 27th of January, we'll be at the Crown Plaza. And we're especially honored because we're going to have our first International Vice President, Barry Palmer. And what makes Vice President Palmer so unique, he is going to be the first international president from Australia.
Oh, wow.
They have never had a president, and he's going to be there first. And that's the other thing. If you look at our board, we're very big in China. In fact, we're the only service organization that's been allowed to come into China. And our immediate past president is Dr. Win Kun Tam from China. And so he was president. He was the first president from China. President this year is Wayne Madden from Carmel, Indiana. Next year it'll be Barry Palmer from Australia. The year after that it'll be Joe Preston from Arizona. And then Dr. Harisho Yamada from Japan will be elected at our convention in Germany next July. And he'll be the new second vice president.
Wow. So how do you know the elections so far in advance?
Well, because you've got a campaign worldwide when you're running for an international office.
Oh, okay.
The board the candidates are out there, and the board and the directors, and we have 34 directors who are elected from around the world, and I had the good fortune of serving from 07 to 09, traveled the world and the United States, in particular, and Canada. And you'll know, so before they leave Germany, the convention next July, they will endorse the next person from the group of candidates. And they have a winnowing out process, and so we'll know coming out of Germany or by next fall who will be running the following year, so that they can get geared up. And it's an expensive proposition. And we're also looking to 2017, which is going to be the 100th anniversary of Lions Clubs International.
Wow.
And at the beginning of October, we were down in Washington at the White House for a day at the White House for the Lions, where they recognized us as champions of change. And it also kind of coincided with, we had legislation passed in Congress to approve a commemorative coin for our 100th anniversary. And the proceeds, the profits will go to our international foundation. And I'm pleased to say that of all 50 states, the New Hampshire delegation was first to sign on both in the House and the Senate. So we're very appreciative of Congressman Ginter and Bass and Senator Shaheen and Ayon.
Very good. Yeah, and you got Democrats and Republicans to
brought them all together.
Wow. That's very good in New Hampshire.
Yeah. But, well, you know, the politics aside, the nice thing about New Hampshire is we're so close to all of our elected representatives. I mean, you can be walking down Main Street and run into Kelly Ayotte. You can be your state representative, especially in some of these towns. You go to the landfill on Saturday, and that's where you're going to run into them, and most of them you'll find them campaigning there because that's the contact. And that's the great thing about New Hampshire. You're very close to your elected officials, and that's why we're a power to be reckoned with when it comes to that, and the first in the nation primary is so important, and we're so important in this presidential election.
It's true. But it's nice to hear about service organizations over politics.
And we're very lucky, you know, we're here talking about the Lions, but, you know, Nashua was very fortunate. The Rotary Club and the West Rotary Club and the Nashua Exchange Club. I mean, there are a great number of men and women who work here, live here, who are giving back to their community through service in these organizations.
I know, it's fantastic. But before we close, and we do thank you for being here.
I thank you for the invitation.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I'd like to know, though, what your favorite book of all time is and why, or how it influenced you.
Well, I got a couple. One is a book that was written by the late Don Tibbetts, who was the State House Bureau Chief for the Union Leader. And it was on something that I covered in my other life in radio, and that was the Durkin-Wyman U.S. Senate race, the closest race in history. And unfortunately, recently, Senator Durkin passed away. But that was unique because I was living it. I was part of it. And in fact, Senator Cannon, who was chairman of the Rules Committee that came here, he and I got into a little discussion about, you know, when are you guys going to stop screwing around with this and send it back to the people of New Hampshire? So that one, and then even though I'm a diehard Red Sox fan, the autobiography of Joe Torre, I've started reading, and it's amazing. The guy's a fabulous guy. Talks about, you know, his battle with cancer, gives some insight into some of the things that went on, and it's just a great book.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing so much about the Lions Club. And if people want more information, they can contact your website that we have on the bottom of the screen, or they can call you directly. And your number again?
603-429-0561.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on Fairy Tale Access. And remember, when you're thinking of volunteering, look at all of the options. The Lions Club may just be the place that you are looking for. Until next time, keep asking questions.